Welcome to Pelicans Flock Report, where I give you everything New Orleans Pelicans from a fan's perspective. I'm your host, D. Broussard. First things first, man. Before we get started, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel, the all new Pelicans Flock Report. You don't want to miss it, man. And shout out to everybody that's already subscribed, man. I really, really appreciate y'all out there. And if you're watching this video, man, make sure you subscribe, man. You don't want to miss it. Go ahead and join the Pelicans flock, man. Hit that subscribe button and tune in, man. On this episode, I kind of want to touch on our interim head coach, James Borrego. Now, I have been going back and forth with a lot of fans here lately who feel like James Borrego is not the guy. I myself feel like James Borrego deserves a shot to be the head coach of this team. I feel like we've seen some improvements with this team since James Borrego has taken over. But some fans feel like we haven't seen any improvements. And I get it, as Pelicans fans over the years, we're all frustrated. We're tired of mediocrity. We're tired of losing product on the basketball court. Um, so I get it, totally. And I'm always open to other people's opinions as well. But I myself, I feel like James deserves a shot at being a head coach. I feel like, um, you know, I feel like he deserves a full season with more prepping to do. And a lot of people don't really understand what it's like to take over a team after being an assistant and becoming a head coach. That's a very tough job. It's a very tough job. And, to try to get a team to basically win when you don't really have the talent because guys are missing games with injuries and things of that nature, it's hard to build chemistry with a team and actually build a team if you don't have all of the pieces of that team. And I think that's what people have to understand as well when it comes to coaching. And with me, I feel like James has done a good job as a leader in the locker room. The guys really believe in him, they trust him. And I think a lot of the trust comes from the fact that James has been on the staff for a long period of time. And a lot of the guys that are currently on the team, they know James, they've been around James, and I feel like they trust James. And I feel like at this point, I mean, I know the season didn't turn out the way that it was supposed to turn out, but it's hard to judge a coach when you don't have the talent on court to judge the coach. Now, obviously, we're currently fully healthy. We're at full strength, and I think we'll be able to see more from James Borrego with this team being fully healthy. We'll be able to see what he can do with a fully healthy roster. And that's going to be one of the things that I'm going to be looking at as we get down to the last 19 or 20 games left in the season. That's definitely going to be something I'm going to be looking at. Um, but I do feel like in last night's game against the Los Angeles Lakers, I do feel like at times there are some questionable decisions. Like last night against the Los Angeles Lakers, I felt like James should have went bigger against the Los Angeles Lakers rather than smaller. Now last night James decided to go with a smaller lineup, starting Herb at the center, um, DeJounte Murray, Zion Williamson, Trey Murphy, and Sadiq Bey. And going small lineup, it worked out for a little while, but ultimately, the Lakers have a big team, a long team, and still kind of felt like we should have went bigger rather than smaller. So for me, that was a questionable decision. There have been some questionable substitutions at times where I feel like you should maybe keep this person on the court, keep him playing when the momentum is going. Um, things are starting to switch. I think you need to keep certain guys on the floor. Like I think that when Zion is going and he's getting in his rhythm and getting in his mode, I think that sometimes you might need to keep Zion on the court. And it's been times where James had have has pulled Zion off the court. In those moments where I felt like, man, Zion should be on the court because he's really getting it going and he's really getting in a rhythm. He's getting to his spots and we're playing really well. We're starting to turn the game around. And then James, pulls him out. It'll be times where I feel like certain guys should be on the floor uh, during certain periods of the game, and they're not on the floor. So, I mean, I have my um, certain things or certain decisions that I feel James makes at times are kind of questionable in my opinion. But obviously, I'm not the coach, so I don't know what he feels is right at that period of time, but I do feel like at times there are some questionable decisions in my eyes. Now, does that mean that James doesn't deserve a shot at being a head coach? No, but there are some questionable decisions at times. I can't say that. Now, um, the Pelicans have improved uh, on offensive efficiency, defensive rating, and pace under James Borrego. And I feel like if you're going to keep James Borrego, then you're going to have to build the right team around James Borrego. Because one thing I know about James Borrego, I knew of James Borrego when he was the coach of the Charlotte Hornets. I would watch the Hornets at times during that period of time. And I knew that James Borrego is a fast paced ball movement coach. He came from Greg Popovich tree, so that's his style of play. Um, and I feel like if you're gonna keep a coach like James Borrego, you have to put the right pieces around James Borrego in order for him to be effective. And that's the thing. And at this point, I feel like no coach can come in and turn this team around if the talent is not healthy. And that's always been a big thing for me is the health of this team. That's why earlier during the week, I talked about the medical staff having a questionable medical staff. And I feel like it's something that we definitely need to figure out. Like, why are guys not staying healthy throughout the season? Because when you have guys that are not staying healthy throughout the season, that also makes it hard for a coach to be efficient, to win games when he doesn't have the right pieces on the floor to do so. So I feel like this season as a whole, it's kind of hard to judge James Borrego's job because he hasn't really had a full team as far as health wise, as far as fully strength, like full strength is what I'm saying. Like he hasn't had that the entire season. I mean, Zion missed time, Trey Murphy missed time, Herb Jones missed a lot of time, Eve missed time, DeJounte Murray was out pretty much the entire season, you can say. He just came back, but I mean, he pretty much missed the whole entire season. So it's kind of hard to judge a coach when you don't have the guys that you need on the court. You know, losses are gonna come when you don't have your main guys on the floor, your main scorers, your go-to guys. Losses are gonna come no matter who the coach is. I feel like this season, to be honest, I feel like, you know, we could have had Mike Malone, and I feel like I can't say the record would have been the same, but I feel like we probably would have still had a losing season, in my opinion, because it's not about talent with this team. It's about health. Because as I said earlier this week, you know, we've always had the talent. This team has always had the talent. I would say always, but I would say in the last 5 years, I can say that we've had some talent come through New Orleans, and we still wasn't able to win. But a lot of the reason why we weren't able to win is because the guys that we were building the teams around weren't available. And I'm gonna just say it, Zion. We've been building a team around Zion for the last couple years, and Zion has not been healthy. And it's hard to build a team around a person when that person isn't available. I don't care who you have. If you're building a team around a specific player and that player is not available, it's hard to win. It's hard. But now things have changed. Joe Dumas has taken over the front office. I still feel confident in Joe. Still feel like Joe is going to turn this thing around. Um, you definitely see a change in Zion and his approach towards the team. We still have talent, but now it's just about health. It's about guys staying healthy and being on the basketball court. So I just feel like whether it was James Borrego or Willie Green, Mike Malone, whoever, I just feel like I don't think it would have made a huge difference, to be honest. Not if guys aren't healthy. So I just feel like this season is a hard season to judge James Borrego off of. And I ultimately feel like um, James deserves a shot at being the head coach for a full season, just to see what he can do when the team is fully healthy, and um, with him having enough time to fully, I guess, build his rotations, see what rotations and lineups work and don't work. As you can say now, James has kind of been doing that game by game, um, changing the rotation, changing lineups, seeing what lineups work, what lineups don't work. I think James has been doing that since he's taken over in November, because we've seen so many different lineups throughout these last couple of games. So, and I think that's a part of the process. I think that's a part of trying to figure out, like, how do we win games? What lineups play uh best together? Who needs to be on the floor at certain times? As you can see, DeAndre Jordan cracking a rotation after not playing for pretty much most of the season since he was signed, like he did not play, but he's been playing. So, I mean, there's just certain things that as a coach, like you have to figure out how do I work these guys and work these lineups to where we can win games. And how do I make the right adjustments with the pieces that I have? How do I build chemistry with the pieces that I have? And also, how do I build chemistry when guys aren't available? Like it's hard to build chemistry when guys aren't available. And I think we see that now with the team being fully healthy, and you have double digits in turnovers. The last two games, we had double digits in turnovers. We had 18 turnovers last night, 16 turnovers in the last game. Um, just a lot of turnovers. And I think it's mainly because there's no chemistry, you know. There's different lineups, you know, guys getting back on the court that hadn't been on the court the whole season. So it's just it's just a lot going on. But this season, as we all know, it's been a disaster of a season. And hopefully, we can turn this thing around. Uh going into next season, and hopefully we can get better results. I really believe that we're gonna get better results, especially under Joe Dumars. I think Joe Dumars is gonna do what it takes to win. Joe Dumars is a winner, and I feel like he's not gonna tolerate mediocrity. And I think that was probably like the best hire that we've had thus far. So I just want to touch a little bit on James Borrego. Um, is he our coach, or was he a mistake? We don't know. That's yet to be seen. But hey, man, y'all let me know what y'all think, man. Should James Borrego be the head coach, the official head coach, or should we search in a different direction? The thing is, if we search in a different direction, who are we gonna get that would make sense for this team? Um, I mean, it's a lot of guys out there, but as you know, um, the NBA has a way of selecting coaches and things of that nature. Organizations has a way of selecting coaches. You have a lot of guys, excuse me, that I think, um, you know, that would make good coaches, head coaches. You have Brian Shaw, you got Sam Cassell. I mean, you got a lot of guys, man. But I mean, ultimately, it'll be the front office decision on, you know, what they think and what they feel, based off of a end of season assessment, I guess you could say. So, we'll see, man. But I myself personally, I feel like James Borrego deserves uh, a head coaching job with this team. Um, I feel like it'll help us going forward because, like I said, the guys know James. Um, it seemed like they respect him. Um, and I think that makes a huge difference. When guys respect the coach, they respect his voice, they respect his leadership. I think that makes a big difference. But hey, we'll see, man. That's it for me, man. Shout out to everybody that's already subscribed to the channel, man. And if you're not, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel, the all new Pelicans Flock Report, where I give you everything New Orleans Pelicans from a fan's perspective. You don't want to miss it. Make sure you subscribe now. That's it for me, man. I'll be back with you guys on tomorrow night after the game as we play the Sacramento Kings in Sacramento. Hopefully we get this dub. Yeah, man. The all new Pelicans Flock Report. I'm out. Tap in, man. Let me know what y'all think, man. Drop some comments. Let me know what y'all feeling out there, man. I'm out.